Hello everyone, this is our Link, back with some more Monster Train. So, we managed to qualify on the first qualifier, but I decided to play the others anyway, just to get a feel for them, not really optimizing my score, but I will just play them, see how it goes. I will probably also just accept the score I get instead of trying to optimize with restarts. So this time around we are playing Awoken Hellhorned, our champion being Wildenton. We have the exiled card package, so the root seeds and the implings. We fight Daedalus with double explosives, Arcus with Rally and Harvest Dark Shards, and Seraph with Consume. Our starter cards are Resto Dedo, Ritual of Battle, and Wildwood Custodian. Let's take a look at our relics. Light's Gift and Impsicle. Two very powerful relics. If I just wanted to win this round, I would probably go Light's Gift, set up everything at the top floor and do fine that way. But if we want to get a decent score, I think the better way to go about it is with Impsicle. So let's do that. I'm obviously looking for Predator now, which we didn't get. Strangler is a decent alternative though. Maybe we can get Strangler and then Predator 2 as our combo of choice. Spikes, huh? Spikes are annoying to deal with as the Strangler, but we do have Restoration Detonations in the deck, so I think we'll be fine. Excuse me. Whew. Can we set up on the bottom floor? Think so. Don't like seeing a Resto Dedo in the opening hand. Let's reduce the incoming damage a bit by playing this Molting Imp and then start buffing up our attack, so we need fewer hits to kill the enemies and thus take less spike damage. Another Resto Dedo very early. That is certainly annoying. Set up a Train Steward here. And let's start getting some rage onto Wildenton. Again, trying to optimize our damage potential. Let's get the one shot on this Forge Disciple. And then we won't be able to kill the boss, but you know, Welder Helper does help a bit. The Welder Helper should have gone in front. Let's deal as much damage as we can and hope we can kill on the next floor, which is unlikely. Top floor is the most likely place where we'll get this kill. So let's prepare for that occasion. There we go. Managed to get through the first fight without taking damage. That is always nice. Steel Enhancer, Sting, Sharpen. What do we want? We want cheaper cards. So Steel Enhancer or Sting better than Sharpen in this specific scenario. I like the idea of having a Steel Enhancer, important work for sure. That works just great with the Impsicle and can help us deal with our energy problems. Let's go to the right. I want spell upgrades right now. Ideally Holdover. Husk Hermit, Thorned Hollow. Neither of these work very well with this Wildenton at the moment. We don't need a Sweeper, we don't need a 3 capacity unit. I think I'm gonna skip. I think our units are mostly gonna be the imps. I could upgrade this, I could reroll trying to look for holdover particularly. I could permafrost the Ritual of Battle reasonably, but I definitely want to cost reduce one of those. And I guess I'll reroll. Double stack. Sure, that is pretty solid. I will also cost reduce the other one now that we have increased the cost of the first one again, just so these are a bit more playable. Armor shouldn't be a huge deal. I think we can set them on the bottom floor here and be fine, especially if the bottom floor is not a capacity reduced one. We do want to block some of these hits, so I'm gonna place some of these imps. This actually makes sure the backliners die, and then just add another 10 damage on top. Cover for the collector on the top floor, didn't spawn there. That's annoying, that means I can't play the Ritual of Battle. If I didn't want to play the imp. I really wanted to play that Ritual of Battle. But we do need to get that collector, that is important. If we had the important work, everything would have worked out quite nicely. Let's get the attack boost and damage next turn here. Ooh, Pyre Jumper. That just allows us to do everything here. We will have an imp and most likely another to block here. Sure. Oh, actually we can't block against High Priest of the Light. Luckily we have this Welder Helper, so everything is okay. Especially with this. Razor Sharp Edge, Steel Enhancer. I think Razor Sharp Edge is good enough that we take it over Steel Enhancer. Hidden Passage and Impressive are both good options here. Branding Right less so. I think this is a skip. We don't need these. And we don't need these units either. We're mostly gonna build around our champion. Focus on spells and imps to support. Does the holdover on the important work? Rare draft pick. I think Umbra is our best shot. Umbra Stone. Trample is very nice with Sweep. Let's make this a Voltron run. Build your OP champion. Waves like these can be a bit scary, but in this specific case, not a problem. Faster I draw into my important work, the better off we are. Because that fuels our energy. Just lovely. Just block some damage. We don't want to take too much damage on Wildenton if we can avoid it. Oh, perfect imp. More draw. Let's get the trample online and heal up. And Transcend Imp. That's a wealthy finish. Let's also play the Ritual. And then we just need to survive this. which will be pretty easy. I would really like to go Predator here. Alloy of the Ancients gives us the necessary defense to take on more difficult bosses. Consumer of Crowns would be a consideration here, but we really don't need it. At this point we just need draw. We need to draw into our important work as early as possible and everything will be fine. One more capacity could eventually be good, especially if we manage to pick up something like a Transcend Imp and make it endless. Friendly units gain plus 2 attack on Slay, that's more scaling for our champ. Let's get Train Stewards out of the deck. Imps can do everything they can do, but better. There is Predator, we go with Quick. Looks like this is gonna be a pretty straightforward run. Plus 6 attack, that might actually threaten Wildenton in the early parts of the fight. I'm gonna sacrifice this imp pretty soon thereafter. I would say right about now would be a good time. Let's apply armor. And let's get a bunch of jump blockers on this floor. Take care of the collector. Rage is perfect here. We want to get the rage up. Let's get more draw. There is the trample as well. Probably shouldn't have played this imp. Let's get the rage and the trample going. Let's get all the attack and then we should be totally fine here, especially with something like a Welder Helper. Yeah, Imsicle is a good relic. Preserve Thorns, Pyre Growth, Bramble Ash. Pyre Growth could work. It's not necessary. And the reduced draw might actually be a significant downside. I'll go Preserve Thorns instead. Imp in a box. Spike of the Hellhorned. Two very strong cards here. I'll go with the spike. We have a couple of relics that will be really good for us, so I'll go there. Like Resonant Shard. Rage gets an additional +1 attack per stack. That's really good. None of these work. So let's reroll. Cleansing Water can help with spikes. Consume Seraph is not a huge deal for this deck at all. We don't really rely on spells and... yeah, I think we'll be fine against Consume Seraph. Infused Mallet doesn't really do much for us. I'll keep my money. The Crystal Cloak. This is the dangerous fight. We need to survive the Crystal Cloak somehow. That probably means we have to set up on the second floor. Make sure we're ready to deal with stealth units and especially the Crystal Cloak as fast as we can. The trample, now we attack, we deal 72 over damage to this guy, so it splashes over to this guy. Then we deal another 72 over damage to this guy, plus the 72 on the Sycophant. So 144 splashes over to the overcharge tank, and they all die. Very easily. That's why the sweep and trample combo is so strong. Armor is gonna be important to deal with the Crystal Cloak. Well, that's why I'm focusing on armor for the most part right now. Having additional units to tank damage is also gonna be helpful. Ideally, we now set up an imp floor on the bottom. Oops, sorry for that notification. Forgot to turn those off again. Okay, Crystal Cloak is by himself, so that is good. Now our goal is just to make them spend as much time as possible on the bottom floor instead of coming up with a ton of stealth. They only have 3 stealth left. That is not gonna be a problem at all. But it did cost us 1 turn of boss rush. But it's often hard to get the 3-turn boss rush on this specific enemy, so not a surprise there. We don't need either of these cards. Tiresome Climb can sometimes be good, Rage Serum is okay. But these are all just cards that stand between us and our engine. Second important work would help make sure I draw it earlier. That's honestly the most important part here. We can't generate enough imps to really keep 2 of those going the whole time. But we might find an endless imp eventually. Endless Transcend imp or Pile Jumper would be nice. Rally. This is okay. We use this imp to kill 1 unit, place Wilden down with only 1 dazed. This guy will ascend, sure. We'll just kill them on the next floor with pretty much anything. A sting, an imp. Whatever we can find. This is okay. It's Queen Simpling. Let's play a Pyre Jumper as well. And start buffing up our champ. Keep these imps as a sacrifice reserve. 118 damage is enough to kill everyone, so we don't need an imp in front. Let's get these things out. I should have thrown them at Arcus, but it hardly makes a difference. There are the important works. Let's get the trample going as well. This is not the right floor to use these on. But I do want to hold them over. So yes, They will kill the imp and draw me into a Weight of Contrition. I will burn that out immediately. That is okay. Sure, good enough. Welder helper, sack that. Right, that was a blinding dark shot on this floor. Can we salvage that? No, we messed up. Didn't really want to have to restart here at all, but if we mess up that big, I guess it's still okay. I should spread out my imps a bit though. So I can sacrifice those that aren't dark sharded. Alloy of the Ancients is a very good card to get back. So yeah, we miss out on the Ritual of Battle this turn. That's totally fine. Let's get the extra three draws for next turn. Time to get Trample online. Eight rage, 8 armor. Let's get the 20 rage instead. Next up, I think I'll take 1 capacity extra, so I can have more imps floating around, even though it doesn't really seem all that necessary, to be entirely honest. Did I not get an imp this turn? Oh, because my hand was already full. Yeah, I should definitely not take another draw gem. Otherwise, I might lose out on even more imps. I need to pay attention that I don't draw up to 10 cards. So we make sure to only draw 9. So we have room for the imp instead. Blinding one, that is fine. Rage, and then even more rage. And we should get the kill on the bottom floor easily enough. That was actually somewhat close even. Out of imps. But yeah, Arcus just is a powerful guy. Dark Deal, Spike of the Hellhorned, 1 Hornstorm. One Hornstorm? We're only ever gonna have we're only ever gonna have 30 health anyway. So we definitely want a multi-strike here. That makes a big difference. Iceberg, huh? We just pick capacity. We don't really want magic power. Now I wish I had taken energy, but this is fine. It's still a good relic to pick up. Makes things a bit easier. Could consume remove the alloy of the ancient. That wouldn't be terrible. Let's make the 1 Hornstorm a bit more playable. Actually, I will do that. These don't matter at all anymore. I'd rather remove them, to be honest. Can we do that? Or is it too expensive? I honestly quite like it. Once we have our important work engine online, this is gonna be very good. Let's get rid of these Resto Deados, which are pretty much dead cards by now, and they don't consume, they don't make us draw extra cards next turn, so they're really just a burden. Spell Shield is the least dangerous modifier here. Let's get things started on the bottom floor. This is nice. We don't want to get kills with the imps, so we're not going to play that one. We do, however, want to absorb hits from the Wild Wings. Let's get the tramples. That's very important for the waves. I should probably have tried to fit Alloy of the Ancients in here, but we're gonna draw into the next deck, so we'll be ready to use it quite soon. Especially considering the amount of a draw we get in this deck. Let's draw one more card before we throw in the spike. I'm not gonna play the Preserve Thorns, I want to generate an imp. And this is our final imp. One extra energy would be kind of nice, but we can do pretty well even without it. No. No. Adaptive Mutation would be good if we don't want to go for One Horned Tome, but there's not really a reason not to go for One Horned Tome. Let's pick up an Impish Scholar. That's gonna be quite helpful. And then let's go to our final Merchant of Magic. We want to double stack that spike, so it's actually worth playing. I don't really need consume removal, but I do want the other cost reduction, just so we can play the One Horned Tome a bit easier. This solves our energy problems. Nothing else though. Keep the remaining almost 400 gold. Impish Scholar might be the best card to dupe here. And then we remove Root Seeds. Root Seeds are the Preserve Thorns actually. Never should have picked that one up, but it could have been good if other things weren't coming together quite this well, but they did, so yeah. As usual, we set up the bottom floor, immediately get that trample, let's gain more energy, and then spike. Building armor comes later. Let's get the damage onto Seraph. What did we consume so far? Oh, we consumed an important work. That was bad. We need to be careful with these consume things. But you know, it's not like it is really gonna make a difference. That was stupid. Okay, let's take this fight a bit more seriously. I said I didn't want to optimize for score, but I do at least want to pilot the deck correctly. Nice. We might actually want to go for the Rage first, because that helps more with dealing extra damage to the Seraph in the backline. Take out this guy first. Okay. Going quite well. Let's not take any damage and buff up our champ. I was about to say, these might actually be a problem, but then we drew a Molten Imp. We don't need both the important works anymore. So consuming one here is fine. Oh, wow! An ending! We get a Transcend Imp as our final imp. here. Giving us all the energy we could ever want. Very nice. There we go. Wildenton solo carry with imp support. That was a pretty straightforward one. I'm a bit surprised there weren't that many scores this high. But it's not always easy to commit to such a singular strategy, because if you are not aware what can potentially thwart your strategy, it is very risky to put all your eggs into one basket. But I was pretty sure that we had all the tools we needed to deal with whatever the game could throw at us. So, yeah. Let's see where this places us. It's second place again. I like it. I want to take a look at Sanguine Penguin's deck. They went with the same Wilden path, not a surprise. They went for draw and capacity. They went for the Impersicle. They went for the Hellspanners and the Railforger Hammer. Very familiar, all of this. They went for a double stacked consume removed Alloy of the Ancients. I don't like that. I think if you double stack it, you don't have to consume remove it. Especially if you have two of them, then just playing them once will be enough armor. But this will do. This will do too. Did they get the flying boss kill anywhere? They did not. So the difference is just what? Them keeping a little bit more gold. They managed to solve the first fight perfectly, which we didn't. They did, however, take some damage to Daedalus. Lost a few points there, and then it's just a gold for the remainder. Yeah, we really didn't need to reroll there. If I really were to optimize the score, I would have just been content there and wouldn't. I might have picked up the Hellspanners anyway, just because it makes the Seraph the Diligent fight much easier in playing the Scorchers. Blights, I mean. Rituals of Battles, One Horn's Tome. They kept the Restoration detonations in. Picked up a Remnant Pact, surprisingly. Yeah, I guess it's a nice insurance. And yeah, you can throw it on an imp too. They did pick up the Impressive, double upgraded it. But yeah, as you can see, it doesn't really matter what you do with most of the rest of your deck. Just the Wildenton and the Impsicle can be your engine, together with the upgraded Important Work with Holdover. That will get you through most things anyway, and the other stuff is just in case something goes wrong. Well, the Ritual of Battles were actually important to get the Wildenton to grow big enough, but our two decks are very similar in strategy, and it's no surprise that both did so well. Enigma had a bit more trouble with Seraph, took some damage to the Blights. But other than that, also a very solid run. They did pick up a Branded Warrior, removed some Queen Simplings, because they didn't dupe the Important Work, so they just used it to keep the Impsicles, well, the Imps generated from the Impsicle in check. Adaptive Mutation Ritual of Battle combo, but they, if you utilize that, you want to skip the One Horn Storm, which they did. Also a very viable setup. Anyways, we're already qualified, so this score for us does not matter. We won't push anyone out of the qualifier, so don't worry. Yeah, pretty happy with how this run went. Thank you guys for watching this. If you want to participate in the tournament, you have about 24 hours left to do so, because there will be the final qualifier upcoming, or it will be up by the time this video will be posted. So yeah, if you're interested, just click on the link in the description and you will find all the information you need there. Anyways, see you guys tomorrow with the final qualifier. Bye bye!